Coming out of high school, the world was Skylar Mays for the taking. He was a 4-star guard with a 5-star brain. He aced physics tests on Friday mornings and shattered assist records on Friday nights. In the classroom, he was a surgeon. On the basketball court, he was surgical. After racking up several state championships at University High, just a stone's throw from the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, Mays left home for the first time, spending a year in Las Vegas at Finley Prep. There, he tested his talents against some of the best players in the country. But the departure was temporary. Skylar's rise to stardom would start where his journey began.
LSU was actually my first offer. They offered me when I was Johnny offered me when I was a freshman going into my sophomore summer. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm good enough to play at least a Power 5 school.
I always wanted to play at LSU as a young child because, LSU is the state school. So, that's an honor to be asked to participate in that sports program.
We were at LSU's team camp, so Coach Jones is walking out with me and my dad and just saying, let me know if you guys need anything. And Dad was like, my son needs an offer. I was like, Dad, why would you do that? And Coach Jones, 2 seconds later, he's like, oh, he's got that. I didn't even know I had to tell y'all. It was a really cool moment for me. I'll never forget that day.
Skylar wouldn't be going to LSU alone. Wade Sims, the son of a former Tiger basketball star and a lifelong friend of Mays, would be joining him in purple and gold. At U-High, the two teamed up for a pair of state titles. One-on-one, they were incredible, but as a pair, they were unstoppable and inseparable.
It started at the House League Sports Academy, and that's where I met Wade, that's where I met DJ White, that's where I met Jalen Johnson, and we just ended up growing up together, and luckily went to the same school and got to hang out and really build a lifelong relationship. And me and Wade would never be on the same team, but I would always want to play with him because he was the tallest guy out there. Just being around him on the weekends and getting to hang with him, and then once we got older playing on the same team, we would always be around each other, and we had a really strong relationship.
You could just tell at a very young age they had a chemistry. People talk about Kobe, Shaq, and those different combinations that seem to just work real good and be successful. They had that type of relationship on the court at a very early age.
But Wade was a super smart player too. We clicked pretty much instantly. He had great hands, and at that point in my career, I was really pass first, so I was just trying to get him the ball and rack up assists, and he just really knew how to play. We just had that connection where we were really good in the pick and roll and things like that, and as his game developed, my job got a lot easier because it was basically trying to get it to him all the time.
They played well off of each other. When maybe if Wade needed to be pulled back a little bit, there was Skylar, and if Skylar needed to be pulled the other way a little bit, there was Wade. So it was a good balance.
Skylar and Wade arrived to college with high hopes and big dreams. They envisioned cutting down the nets together at LSU just like they did at U-High. But their freshman year was a struggle. The Tigers went just 10-21, with just 2 wins in SEC play. The coach he began his LSU career with would leave. The coach he would finish his LSU career with would take over. Change was at hand, but championships were in sight.
Yeah, I wasn't used to that. I won everywhere I'd been. 2 state championships in high school. And then coming into this and looking at our roster, we looked really good on paper, but things just didn't work out. Adversity like that definitely built character. It made me appreciate the winning seasons we had a lot more. I wouldn't trade that season for anything because it taught me a lot.
The losing and things like that, definitely he's never been accustomed to losing that large volume. But our philosophy to him was, you do what you control what you can control. You get out there and put in the work to be the best that you can be.
Johnny Jones is going to be relieved of his duties as our head basketball coach. I feel bad that it's ended this way, but I felt like the direction of the program, we needed a change.
Yeah, I felt very responsible because, you know, I'm part of the team and understanding how at the end of the day, it comes down to the players and, you know, us not performing and it pretty much turning his life in a different direction, especially with how strong of a relationship we had at that time and that we still have. But, you know, Coach Wade's always been great to me, always been stand up, and you know, we kind of clicked off from the beginning because we played them my freshman year, and I played well against them, and he remembered me for that and spoke on that really quickly.
I can remember Coach Wade coming in and having a meeting with us, and you know, saying you know, he wasn't sure who was gonna be starting, who was gonna, you know, rise to the occasion, and I wasn't worried at all. I knew what kind of child we had, what kind of person Skylar was.
You know, when you think about it in retrospect, it really was a blessing in disguise because what Skylar wants to do in the future, you know, play in the NBA, the ability to concentrate on scoring for the first time in his life, and his ball handling is just natural. A lot of people haven't seen what he can do, but they will when he gets to that level.
Coach Wade's arrival marked a turning point in May's career. He moved off the ball, rounding out his game as a scorer and improving as a defender. After a year full of defeats, the Tigers were winning, and Skylar was improving. He was faster. He was more explosive. He was stronger, too. He had bought in, and so had Wade. They were in the best shape of their lives. The world was theirs for the taking, until the world as they knew it was taken from them.
Members of the LSU basketball team are grieving tonight after one of their own was killed early this morning during a fight.
I got the call from my buddy on the football team, and you know, just bawling out crying and coming downstairs and actually seeing Miss Faye, and I'll never forget when Miss Faye told me that's my only child, and that really, like, after that I just pretty much blacked out for the rest of the day. I kind of lost it.
I just remember the phone call. When I picked it up, Skylar was just bawling and you know, let us know exactly what happened. And so we immediately got dressed and ran on over. The coaches were still at the hospital. And
you know, we went out there, and you know, Coach Wade was standing outside with the other ball players, and you know, we all cried. You know, and I still periodically cry when I think about, you know, this young man. He had such a great future ahead of him.
Can't imagine something like that happening to a kid that was, you know, that grew up in your home and have been friends with your kids, and to this day, Skylar and Miss Faye and Wayne, they go to the grave site together. They decorate Wade's grave.
I actually went to see him this morning. So unfortunate, and as Miss Faye and Big Wayne have opened up as time has gone on, they've opened up a lot more, and it's helped me, you know, reminisce on all the great memories me and him had, and you know, walking through this house and seeing pictures of me and him, and we're grieving, of course, but you know, as time goes on, we just try to reflect as much on the positive.
Some fold under the weight of heartbreak. Some crumble in grief. But some find strength on the other side of sorrow. They transform pain into purpose. And just when the night seems darkest, they find a way to shine their brightest. LSU's 2018-2019 season started in tragedy. It would end in triumph. Behind Skylar's leadership and Wade's inspiration, the Tigers won the SEC championship, cutting down the nets and hanging a banner in the PMAC, before moving on to the NCAA tournament. A bittersweet season ended in the Sweet 16, but the number everyone would remember was 44.
He wore his number on his shoes, on his wrist, you know, so let everybody know he's always thinking of him, you know, and so I think that helped him, you know, somewhat. Having that motivation to do this for him, to honor his memory and make something special, because I believe Wade said before the season that this team was going to be special and it was going to do great things. And I think Skylar wanted to definitely make sure that his words weren't in vain, you know, and that they made that season special.
You know, as sad as it was, it motivated Skylar to take his game to a different level. I mean, really honestly thinking we're a firm believer in God and the miracles that God can provide, you know, and I really feel that, you know, every game Skylar had weight on his mind to try to be the best that he could be out there on the court.
I knew things turned around once we got on the roll in conference my junior year, because I knew we had the talent that year. I knew we were going to take off. Really getting to see Miss Faye and Big Wayne cut the nets down, that was the top moment for me. No debate, nothing else comes close to that.
NCAA tournament, what are your favorite memories from that?
Yeah, Maryland's my favorite game at LSU. It's just a surreal environment. People tell you that, you know, March Madness is like, you gotta get there. That doesn't do it justice. Just going out there and knowing that you have a chance to win something so big, I wouldn't trade that couple of weeks for anything.
Skylar's roller coaster 4 years would end in a fashion that was unfortunately fitting. His senior season was cut short by COVID-19, a premature conclusion to one of the most unpredictable and unforgettable careers in LSU history. Skylar would finish his career in purple and gold as the only player in program history with 1,600 points, 400 rebounds, 300 assists, and 200 steals, the most complete Tiger to ever lace him up. That was true in the classroom too, where he won back-to-back SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year honors and took home the McWhorter Award as the league's top scholar athlete. What are your favorite moments or memories from this year?
Mississippi State game winner, you know, just that shot. You know, I always wanted a game winner, and I got to have that.
It's Mays spinning against Weatherspoon. The shot. Oh! At the buzzer! Count the basket! Tigers win! Tigers win!
What about senior night? What do you remember about your senior night?
Awesome. Having my brothers and Marshall and Marlon and Wade and getting to go out with them, that meant a lot to me. As a guy from Baton Rouge and getting to play my last college game in Baton Rouge, that's something that's pretty cool for me.
It's just amazing being on the court and feeling the love that the players do. You know, it was just amazing. Just the energy that you get. You know, Skylar talks about it being out there on the court. A lot of times when they're playing, they don't hear it, you know. And so when we were out there, it was just an amazing feeling.
All the opportunities this place has given me, all the people that I've been blessed to be around on a daily basis, and people that I've just met on one time, but I know that I'm going to have a great relationship with moving forward. You know, I owe everything that I'm going to be able to accomplish as a basketball player and just as a person to LSU, because this place has really molded me.
Tonight, Skylar takes the next step in his career. He will gather in his Baton Rouge home and wait to hear his name called in the 2020 NBA Draft. 2 years after getting the phone call that changed his life forever, that brought him to tears that haven't stopped flowing since, Skylar will get another phone call. This one will change his life forever too, and if it brings him to tears, they will be tears of joy. Because once again, the world will be his for the taking. And Wade will be there with him too, every step of the way.
Wade is such a big part of my life, and you know, I owe it to him to continue having him in everybody's memory and doing things for him. So I have a lot of, you know, thoughts that I put on paper and big plans that, you know, are going to keep his name alive.